The Devil May Cry franchise is one of the coolest in gaming history. I mean, it gave us dope characters like Dante, presented a battle system that's like the perfect fusion of a beat 'em up and a fighting game, and blessed us with scenes that will forever live rent-free in our minds.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light!
But how can one truly appreciate Devil May Cry without first understanding the lore? So today, we're doing something a little bit different for Honest Gaming History. To hold you guys over while I continue working on the super long updated God of War Honest Gaming History, I'm compiling all the history videos I did in the characters of Devil May Cry into one easy to watch bingeable video. That way you don't only get the full timeline, but you also get it from different perspectives. And yes, for those wondering, DMC Dante will be included in this video. I know a lot of you don't like him, but he's still family, so we gotta talk about him. So without much further ado, and for old time's sake, play that intro, son! Well, like almost any Devil May Cry Origins video, we gotta start off with the legendary Dark Knight, Sparda. You know his backstory already. He used to work for Mundus, the leader of the underworld, but didn't like the fact that the dude wanted to rule over the human world.
So Sparda gave him a proper beating and sealed him away.
And to stop any demons from trying that Mundus bullshit in the future, he used his sword, an amulet known as a Perfect Amulet, and the majority of his power to close the door to the underworld, known as the Temini Gru. With the human world pretty much safe, he chilled in a place called Fortuna for a bit, got some humans to worship him to the point where they formed a cult, then went off and fell in love with a woman named Eva.
Together they gave birth to Dante and his older twin brother Vergil.
But Sparda ended up disappearing and left this perfect amulet with Eva.
And Eva gave each brother a half of the amulet.
Afterwards, demons showed up and attacked Dante's family. Vergil was nowhere to be found during the attack, so Eva hid Dante and told him that he needs to run and change his identity. She then went looking for Vergil, but died before she could find him.
So Dante adopted the name Tony Redgrave, and after some time traveling, becomes a mercenary and opens up his own little unnamed mercenary shop.
As a mercenary demon hunter guy, he meets a gunsmith by the name of Mel Goldstein, who makes his iconic pistols, Ebony and Ivory.
While on the job, Dante runs into his older brother Vergil, and he's pretty hyped to see the guy.
As he should be. He thought Vergil was dead this whole time.
But Vergil is not as excited to see his younger brother. He's just here to get his brother's half of the perfect amulet. So he pulls the classic older brother move and beats up his younger brother so he can take his shit.
But Dante's like, stop, that's mine, give it back.
So Vergil gives him back the half of the amulet. When he really needs it, he'll just come back, beat Dante up, and take it again.
Moving on to Devil May Cry 3, we find Dante chilling in his unnamed shop, until a demon by the name of Batman Arkham Asylum pulls up and starts instigating. So I hear Vergil beat that ass once. Well, guess what? He's outside, right now, ready to give you a bacon, eggs, and ham sandwich. You ain't ready for that shit.
Dante is down to get a second round in with his brother, so he heads outside and witnesses the rise of the Temini Gru.
Crazy ass Vergil wants to use Dante's half of the amulet to unseal the Temini Gru, so he can claim Sparda's power. Which is cool, I guess, but unsealing the Temini Gru also opens the door to the underworld. So this white-haired sociopath is willing to screw the whole world just to get some of his daddy's energy. Somebody come get their mans.
Dante enters the tower to confront his brother, and on the way, he runs into a very angry woman named Lady. That's not her actual name, but that's just what Dante decides to call her.
Lady is looking for her father Arkham, because he did some wild shit and sacrificed his wife in order to gain demonic powers. What kind of messed up type of—
Dante leaves the justifiably angry woman to continue looking for her father. Then he eventually makes it to his brother Vergil.
They share some friendly brotherly banter. You ready to catch my dimension cutting fade, little bro? I'm ready to shoot you in the face, bitch! Then proceed to fight.
But Vergil activates his older brother's special ability, whoops that ass again, then takes Dante's half of the amulet. Vergil 2, Dante 0.
And Vergil takes it a step further by stabbing Dante with his own sword. Was that really necessary though?
But Vergil's act does something that he does not expect.
Because the sword got a taste of Dante's blood, his latent demon powers activate, and he gets back up, ready for more smoke. But then he falls unconscious.
Dante later runs into Vergil again, while Vergil is failing to unlock the Temini Gru.
Dante talks his shit, then Vergil's like, you know what? Maybe I'll just fuck you up again, then use your blood to help unlock this damn tower.
The two fight, then Lady shows up, thinking that Vergil's the reason why her father was so corrupt. Woman, you better leave before Vergil kills your ass.
As Lady struggles to keep up with Dante and Vergil, a random demon named Jester pulls up to the scene like Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Ho ho!
The demon reveals himself to actually be Arkham. This whole time, he was manipulating Dante, Lady, and Vergil in order to claim Sparta's power for himself.
Jester overpowers the warriors, then takes some blood from Lady.
Apparently the ingredient Vergil was missing to unseal the Temini grew was the blood of a priestess, and Lady just so happened to be a descendant of a priestess. So yeah, Lady Ex Machina.
With Lady's blood and Dante and Vergil too weak to fight, Arkham successfully unseals the Temini grew and enters the demon world. Dante decides to go and stop the guy, but Lady is all like, "This is my fight, stand down." Dante's like, "Bro, you're a human, I'm a half demon. Who's better suited for the situation?"
Lady complies to Dante's logic and hands him her rocket launcher just in case he needs it.
Dante then enters the underworld to find Arkham in this weird purple blob form. Guess he couldn't handle the realness that is Sparta's power.
So Dante starts the boss fight, then Vergil joins in and they work together to defeat Arkham. But don't forget, Vergil still wants all of Sparta's power for himself.
So Dante reluctantly fights his brother for Sparta's force edge and actually wins this time. Vergil 2, Dante 1. Nice.
But Vergil isn't about to give his little brother an official W, so he lets himself fall deeper into the underworld with his half of the amulet. You need some fries with that salt, son?
Dante returns to the surface with the force edge in hand, but he's all butthurt about the situation with his brother. So Lady comforts him and is like, maybe out there, devils may cry when they lose a loved one.
Then random ass demons show up and Dante's like, crying's for bitches. Then he and Lady fight the horde of demons as the credits roll.
Moving on to Devil May Cry 1, we find Dante chilling in his shop, suitably named Devil May Cry.
Suddenly, some random blonde named Trish shows up and attacks Dante.
Why though? He was literally just sitting there.
Dante finesses Trish, then she admits that this was all a test for the actual boss of the game, Mundus.
Apparently Mundus is plotting his return to the human world, so Trish is recruiting Dante to go to Millet Island and stop him. Seems pretty sus that you just kinda know this, Trish.
Dante's like, well, can't have that. Guess we gotta go punch Mundus in the face.
So the two go to Millet Island, and Trish just kind of abandons Dante. Seems pretty sus how you just left my boy Dante like that.
So Dante explores a castle on the island, runs into some demons, fucks them up, you know, regular Devil May Cry shit.
But during his travels, he runs into this mysterious demon named Nello Angelo. They fight a total of 3 times throughout the game, but during the 3rd attack, Nello Angelo reveals himself to be Vergil.
Oh wow, what a surprise. Not like we told you the same thing in like 4 other videos.
Bro, can you chill? So Dante defeats Vergil and takes the other half of the perfect amulet. Vergil 2, Dante 2.
The power of the full amulet turns the force edge into its awakened form, the demon sword Sparta.
Later, Dante reunites with Trish, but she betrays him, admitting that she actually works for Mundus. Told you she was sus as shit!
In the process of trapping Dante, she almost gets both of them killed. But Dante saves her because she oddly looks like his mother.
Damn, Trish, you trash, girl.
Later, Dante approaches Mundus, who has trapped Trish.
Mundus then attacks Dante, but Trish takes the hit instead. Alright, Trish, maybe you're not trash.
Dante gets pissed because Trish still looks like his mom. So he turns on his anime power-up, activates his double trigger, then smacks Mundus.
Then he goes to Trish's unconscious body, says the most awkward line in gaming history.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light.
Then leaves both his father's sword and the perfect amulet with Trish. Wait, what? Bro, isn't she unconscious? Who's gonna defend it when someone tries to steal it, Dante? Trish? She's out cold. She's done. Is this what we do now, Dante? Just throw valuable things away?
Don't you, chill, son.
I know, it's just, it's so dumb, bro.
I know, but just remember when this game came out.
I know.
So after that kind gesture, I guess, Dante starts making his way off the island. But then Mundus shows up and attacks the guy, and Dante is too weak to put up a fight.
Maybe if he had, you know, the demon sword Sparta that he left with freaking Trish, then he wouldn't be in this mess.
Calm down. Trish shows up with Sparta and saves Dante's ass.
Well, Dante's still dumb for leaving this stuff in the first place, so...
After the final battle, Dante and Trish head out, and they start working together in Dante's shop.
Then the anime happens, which just kinda contains a whole bunch of side quests.
Then Devil May Cry 2 happens, which is honestly just one giant side quest.
Listen, all you need to know is that there is some bad guy doing some wild shit, Dante finesses a bunch of demons, then he defeats the bad guy. Nothing to it. And Dante is oddly way more broody in this one. No idea why.
Moving on to Devil May Cry 4, we find Dante chilling in his office. Again, as Lady walks in to give him a job.
She tells him about a religious group in Fortuna known as the Order of the Sword, and how they worship Sparta.
This cult is out here messing around with demons and shit. and Dante can't have that.
So he, Trish, and Lady go their separate ways to stop this group of devil worshippers. Dante heads straight to Fortuna and shoots the leader of the order, Sanctus, right in the face.
Like a real G.
Knights from the order attempt to come at Dante, but he bodies all of them.
So a holy knight named Nero, who just so happens to be part demon, confronts Dante.
Dante proceeds to flex on the noob, tells him that they're the same, then dips.
Nero is then ordered to chase after Dante, and throughout the game, they run into each other a few times.
The first time was nothing special, but the second time? Whew, shit got heated.
You see, at this point in the plot, Nero figured out that the Order of the Sword is actually a band of cultists with crazy intentions. They want to summon a giant demon known as the Savior to basically control the world.
And they also partake in fun activities like turning themselves into demons. Not really a good idea, guys. Arkham tried doing the same thing, and we all know how that turned out.
They also kidnapped his love interest after she appeared in the worst place at the worst time. And Nero saw the whole thing happen and couldn't do a thing. So Nero was kind of pissed about all of this. And since he no longer fucks with the Order of the Sword, there is no reason for him to fight Dante.
But Nero has Vergil's sword Yamato. Dante can't really leave him running around with his brother's shit.
So Dante whoops his ass again, but notices the fight cooled Nero down.
Nero was a good kid. He's just sick of the bullshit, that's all. So Dante allows him to keep the sword and save his girlfriend.
But Nero's useless ass gets absorbed by the Savior after Sanctus manages to summon it.
On top of that, Sanctus steals Yamato in the process, gives it to his lackey Agnes, and Agnes uses the sword to open a friggin' hellgate in Fortuna. Damn, Nero, I like you, but you really messed up.
So Dante cleans up Nero's mess by basically playing through his story from start to finish. So he goes through Fortuna and closes all the previously open hellgates that Nero didn't. He destroys all the demon bosses that Nero fought. Then he kills Agnes and destroys the hellgate that was open using Yamato. Damn, son. Dante should have just did this whole thing by himself.
Dante then saves Nero and allows him to redeem himself by letting him be the one to take down the Savior and Sanctus. There you go, Nero! Being useful and shit.
After the boss's defeat, Dante gives Yamato to Nero, and they part ways.
Then they reunite in Devil May Cry 5, after Dante goes on a little side quest with the person he helped in Devil May Cry 2, named Lucia. It's in the novel, in case you're confused.
So Dante's story in Devil May Cry 5 starts off with him chilling in his office for like the 89th time.
An old friend of his named Morrison enters his shop and introduces him to a mysterious man named V.
V has a job for him. There's an extremely powerful demon named Urizen who has summoned the demonic tree known as the Clyfoth in Redgrave City.
This tree has caused a demon infestation in the city. V and Redgrave need Dante to destroy the Clyfoth and stop Urizen.
Dante accepts the mission. Then he, Trish, and Lady head over to Redgrave City to stop the demon.
But Urizen is way stronger than they thought. He bodies Dante's squad, then Nero and V show up for their round. V is shook, but Nero is ready for some sweet revenge. Before all this, a weakened Vergil showed up to Nero's crib and ripped off his arm so he can get his sword back. V recruited Nero and told him that Urizen is responsible for taking his arm, which is half true, but that's why Nero wants to fight Urizen.
Urizen eats Nero, then Dante gets back up to get his rematch.
He calls Nero dead weight, then tells both him and V to escape. This whole idea was a really bad call. After they escape, Urizen smacks Dante again, but this time he also breaks his sword, Rebellion.
1 month later, Dante wakes up to V and the demon sword Sparta.
V tells him how he was in a month-long coma, how Nero has been handling things while he was down, and how Urizen and the Clyfoth are still a problem. Dante takes the info, takes Sparta, then goes to get his third match against Urizen.
V tries to stop him to tell him more, but Dante leaves before he can.
On the way to Urizen, Dante does his normal Dante thing, and slays a bunch of demons.
His journey leads him to the home he was raised in. There he reminisces about his past fights, mainly the one he had with Vergil, where he got stabbed in the chest with his own sword.
Then he thinks for a sec, and stabs himself with a broken Rebellion to confirm a hunch he has. If Yamato separates, then maybe Rebellion can merge.
Dante then absorbs both Rebellion and Sparta, and activates his Sin Devil trigger.
This transformation also gives birth to Dante's new weapon, the Demon Sword Dante.
With this new power, he flies over to Urizen after Nero fails to stop him again, and actually manages to beat the demon.
But Urizen leaves the fight in order to claim the fruit that has grown at the top of the Clyfoth.
Dante then reconvenes with Nico Goldstein, Lady, Trish, V, and Nero. He is then told where Urizen went, and about how the fruit of the Clyfoth grants insane power.
My girl Nico then officially introduces herself to Dante, and tells him that her grandmother made his famous guns. She gives him this dope hat, he dances like Michael Jackson for a second, then he, Nero, and Vergil agree to go their separate ways to get to Urizen.
Dante gets to Urizen first, and tries to talk to him.
Dante knew that Urizen was a part of Vergil from jump, So before they fight, he tries to tell him that their mother did not abandon him all those years ago. Urizen's like, this isn't about mom, this is about me giving you these hands.
So they fight, and the fight ends with Dante stabbing Urizen in his chest eyeball. Ew.
Nero and V show up just as Dante is getting ready to finish him.
Dante allows V to do the honors, but instead of killing him, V fuses with Urizen after he stabs him to turn back into Vergil.
So in case you guys didn't know, before all the events that took place, Vergil used Yamato to separate his human side from his demon side in order to gain more power. V being his human side and Urizen being his demon side. So Dante tries to fight Vergil, but he's still tired from the Urizen fight.
Vergil wants to fight Dante at his best, so he tells Dante to recover and get stronger.
He then thanks Nero and dips.
Nero is all types of confused, but is still trying to join Dante in giving Vergil these hands.
But Dante tells Nero that Vergil is his father. Then Nero's brain just kinda shorts out.
After slaying a few more demons, Dante confronts Vergil.
And after giving each other some of their usual banter, they fight. In the middle of the fight, Dante tells Vergil that Nero was his son. Then Vergil gets all types of confused. And Dante's just laughing about how the story behind that situation probably went.
They agree that it's time to end this battle. Then they both enter their Sin Devil Trigger form.
But their final clash gets stopped by Nero in his true Devil Trigger form.
Nero tells the both of them that he decided that neither of them are allowed to kill each other. Boy, who gave you the right?
Dante tries to tell Nero for like the 75th time that this is not his fight, but Nero's sick of being dead weight, so he punches Dante in the face.
Vergil's intrigued by Nero, so he challenges Nero and tells Dante that if he wins this fight, then he also wins their fight.
Dante doesn't give a fuck, so the father and son fight, only for the son to stand victorious.
Dante starts talking shit because Vergil just got schooled by his own son after he stole the kid's arm. But then Nero reminds him that the Qliphoth is still a problem.
So Vergil and Dante agree to go to the underworld to destroy the Qliphoth, knowing full well that if they go, they cannot return.
Nero is completely against this idea, but Dante lets him know that he trusts him to take care of everything on the human world.
So the brothers go and destroy the Qliphoth, then they try to finish their duel, but a horde of demons distract them before they can finish, thus leaving the Vergil-Dante record as a freaking tie. Unless you include the other Nello Angelo fights and the Urizen fights, but I don't, so.
And if you're wondering what happened to Dante's Devil May Cry business, Lady and Trish are now manning the office.
So maybe we'll get a spin-off game with these ladies. But for now, that is it for Dante's story.
Eva gave birth to two sons, Dante and Vergil.
The two boys were trained by their father Sparta, until he randomly disappeared while they were still young. Before his disappearance, however, Eva gave each of the brothers one half of the perfect amulet. With Sparta gone, salty-ass Mundus seized his opportunity for revenge and sent demons after Eva and her two sons. Unfortunately for Vergil, he was not with his family during this attack.
So after Vergil unleashed his demon powers to defeat the demons that ambushed him, he went back home only to find Eva and Dante gone.
And instead of, being logical and assuming that demons attacked Eva and Dante too, he falsely accused his mother of abandoning him. Bro, if you got attacked by demons, wouldn't you also assume that your family got attacked by demons too? And the worst part is that this false accusation basically turned Vergil into the power-hungry edgelord we know today.
Mind you, his mother died while looking for him. After multiple years of traveling, Vergil runs into the demon Arkham, who tells him about the Tema Negru.
Vergil's like, Tema Negru? Demons? More power? I needs that.
He wants to open the gate to the underworld so he can claim Sparta's weapon, the Force Edge.
He also finds out that his little brother Dante is still alive, but instead of getting all hyped to see the guy, he takes Dante's half of the perfect amulet, then beats his ass.
Dante pleads for his half back, so Vergil gives it back and tells him that he can come back for it whenever he wants.
My man basically said, I am your big brother, so when the time comes, I will beat that ass again, then claim that amulet.
Sometime after this, Vergil goes to Fortuna in order to learn more about Sparta.
He finds out about the Order of the Sword, knocks up some random chick, then dips, saying that these people will soon learn about the true power of the son of Sparta.
After more time passes, Vergil reconvenes with Arkham.
Together, they summon the Tema Negru, and Arkham goes to Dante's crib to basically tell him that Vergil is ready to give him more smoke. Dante ain't no bitch, so he goes to the Tema Negru to accept Vergil's challenge.
Vergil proceeds to beat the life out of him, then he takes the other half of the amulet.
Arkham and Vergil then make it to the bottom of the Tema Negru in order to perform the ritual to open the gate to the underworld.
Now that he is a few steps away from his goal, Vergil has no need for Arkham, so he kills him.
Damn, Vergil, chill!
Vergil then attempts to perform the gate opening ritual, but he fails. He's missing something, but he has no idea what it is.
Then Dante shows up, ready for his rematch. Vergil's like, maybe I just need more of Sparta's blood. Dante also has father's blood, so I'll just take it from him.
So the brothers fight, but get interrupted by a woman named Lady.
Aight, so Lady is the daughter of Arkham. Before all this happened, Arkham was just your average human, but he was enticed by the legend of Sparta, so he sacrificed his wife in order to gain demonic powers. So now Lady hates Arkham and is here to get revenge.
Lady's interruption turns the brotherly duel into a stalemate.
But then, the demon Jester enters the fray. Jester is actually the demon form of Arkham. After his entrance, he starts talking all the shit. Apparently, everything that transpired up until now went according to his plans. He wants Sparta's power for himself, so he tricked Dante and Vergil into showing up here.
And Lady is the final piece of the puzzle. She has the blood of the priestess needed to complete the ritual.
So Arkham opens the gates of the underworld and obtains Sparta's power,
which forces Dante and Vergil to team up in order to put an end to the demon.
After the final battle, Vergil's like, I'm still trying to get Dad's weapon though.
So the brothers fight once again, with Dante seizing victory this time.
But Vergil is way too salty to just accept defeat, so he keeps his half of the amulet and falls deeper into the underworld.
There, Vergil runs into Mundus.
He revels in the thought of facing the Prince of Darkness, then rushes at him. Now, it was never officially stated who won the fight, but we could go ahead and assume that Vergil lost. Mainly because he shows up as a slave of Mundus in Devil May Cry 1, which takes place after Devil May Cry 3.
In Devil May Cry 1, Dante defeats Vergil once again, and takes the other half of the amulet.
So now we could move on to Devil May Cry 5, since nothing else really happens to Vergil in Devil May Cry 1.
Years after Nero and Dante defeated Sagus in Devil May Cry 4, Vergil returns from the underworld, now free from Mundus' hold on him.
But my man is hella weak from taking all the L's he took in the previous games. So he makes his way over to Nero's place, rips the kid's arm off, turns it into his old sword Yamato, then dips.
With his original weapon back in his possession, Vergil heads over to Redgrave City, the place of his and Dante's birth. There, in order to gain more power and expel his weaknesses, he stabs himself with Yamato, in order to separate his demon side from his human side.
This gives birth to the extremely powerful demon Urizen, and the physically weak V. You know what's crazy? If Vergil knew this was possible in Devil May Cry 3, this whole series would have went differently. Like, Dante would probably be dead already, and this whole game would just be an epic drama about Nero and Vergil. Yo, that would actually make a dope-ass game. Yo, Capcom, call me. Your boy's got ideas.
Anyways, as Urizen, Vergil summons the Qlipoth in Redgrave City. He plans on using the fruit that grows from this demonic tree to gain even more power and become a demon god.
As V, Vergil is like, well, can't have that. Then first hires Dante, Lady, and Trish to take down Urizen. And just for good measure, he recruits Nero as well.
Neither Nero nor Dante and his team serve as a match for Urizen.
Urizen completely bodies Dante and his squad, then follows up by beating the life out of Nero. Don't forget that you're just dead weight, bitch!
1 month later, Nero returns to fight Urizen, but he is once again defeated.
Then Dante shows up, transforms into a new and more powerful Devil Trigger form, and engages Urizen.
But Urizen leaves mid-battle in order to claim the fruit from the Qlipoth.
Get back here and catch these hate-filled hands, son!
When it comes to V, up until this point, he's just been trying his best to help Nero and Dante defeat his demon counterpart.
But the farther they go on their quest, the weaker he becomes.
After Dante leaves to chase after Urizen, V and Nero make their own path to the demon boss.
On the way, V informs Nero that Urizen isn't even the name of the demon they're facing. He tells Nero that Urizen is actually Dante's brother Vergil. With that in mind, the two head over to the self-proclaimed Demon King, only to find Dante getting ready to finish him off.
V requests that he be the one allowed to slay Urizen. Dante allows him to do his thing.
But when V gets to Urizen, Dante notices that something is off.
Before he can do anything about it, V stabs Urizen, then fuses with him to turn back into Vergil.
Nero is all types of confused at this point.
Dante attempts to fight Vergil, but Vergil easily defeats him, then tells him to go and heal his wound so they can have a proper duel.
Hold up, guys. Can we all just sit back and appreciate Vergil's motives for a sec? He's not doing all this for some generic reason like taking over the world or whatever. This whole time, he just wants to get to a point where he can fight his brother again at full strength. Vergil just wants Dante to catch his fade. I can appreciate an antagonist with those kind of motives. So Vergil leaves, and Dante prepares to go after him for their rematch. But Nero is tight, because he's trying to give Vergil the hands too. Don't forget that this dude stole his arm.
However, Dante denies his request by revealing to him that Vergil is actually his father.
Nero gets even more confused, and Dante heads over to his brother.
Once they meet, they immediately start fighting.
But before they're able to complete their fight, Nero shows up and puts an end to their duel. He is not gonna allow them to kill each other.
Vergil then challenges Nero and tells Dante that if he beats Nero, then he wins their fight too.
Dante could care less about Vergil's conditions, So the father and son fight, only for Nero to seize victory.
After the father-son quarrel, the three realize that they can't just sit here and continue bickering. The Qliphoth is still a thing, and the only way to cut it down is to go to the underworld, sever its roots, then close the portal to the underworld from the inside.
Vergil decides to handle it so he and Dante can continue their business, and Dante follows him for backup. Before they leave though, Vergil gives Nero a book that he carried around his V. It's kinda like a keepsake, letting Nero know that his father has some type of respect for him.
And then the story of Vergil ends, with him and Dante successfully severing the Qliphoth roots and closing the portal to the underworld. On the isolated island of Fortuna, there resides a religious organization known as the Order of the Sword. They exist for one purpose, and one purpose only: to worship the great demon Sparta by slaying other demons.
Our boy Nero is one of the many holy knights who is trained by the Order, and he is currently on his way to one of their ceremonies to see his girl Kyrie perform.
After some quick demon slaying, he just barely makes it to the ceremony,
which is cut short when veteran demon hunter Dante rolls up and shoots the shit out of Sanctus, the leader of the Order.
After multiple knights from the Order fail to stop Dante, Nero steps up to show him the hands.
But he isn't ready for Dante's fate. Dante basically plays with him and forces him to reveal his demonic arm called the Devilbringer.
Dante then alludes to them being connected and dips.
Call me when you can handle this smoke, bitch.
Credo, Kyrie's brother and Nero's superior, is not about to let this white-haired savage just stroll through his home like this.
So he instructs Nero to pursue Dante. Show that white-haired tyrant that he can't just be out here killing old men.
But when Nero starts his task, he is welcomed by a town overrun by demons.
So now Nero has two missions: stop these demons and stop Dante. After a good few hours of demon slaying, our boy's quest brings him to a hidden lab owned by the Order.
There he runs into Agnes, the head chemist and weirdo of the Order of the Sword.
Agnes tells Nero that he is responsible for the demons overrunning Fortuna. He's opening hell gates to summon these demons for his experiments. These experiments will be used to aid the Order in summoning the Savior, a large statue of Sparta that will give the Order the power they need to control the world.
And the Order is also turning themselves into demons. So they're a bunch of demon worshippers who want to protect the world from demons while also being demons themselves. Yeah.
Nero's like, welp, can't have that, then attempts to fight Agnes, but Agnes summons demons to kill him.
But Agnes just so happens to have Yamato, the sword that belonged to Dante's fallen brother Vergil. The sword reacts with Nero and activates his devil trigger, which unleashes his latent demon powers.
After receiving a Zenkai boost, Nero forces Agnes to retreat, like the bitch he is.
So now Nero is hella confused. He wants to continue his pursuit of Dante, but he also realizes that the Order of the Sword is hiding some pretty crazy secrets. So he goes to find Credo to ask him what the hell is going on. But when he confronts Credo, Credo just evades his questions and straight up threatens Nero. You ain't got the authority to ask me shit.
Credo then attacks Nero and forces Nero to reveal his Devilbringer.
Surprised by Nero's arm, Credo then reveals his demon form. You showed me yours, now I'll show you mine.
Nero proceeds to beat the mess out of Credo, then Kyrie just decides to show up at the worst time.
She's all scared now because she sees Nero standing over her brother with his Devilbringer out. But like, why are you even here though?
As Nero tries to justify his actions, Agnes swoops in and takes Kyrie.
Which is exactly why she shouldn't have been here in the first place.
Credo tells Nero to put their differences aside and go save Kyrie. Nero then catches up to Agnes and gives him the hands, but then Sanctus shows up, saves Agnes, then takes Kyrie.
I know. Shouldn't Sanctus be dead?
Well, Sanctus also turned himself into a demon, so he's alive and much stronger now.
Now Nero has to chase after Agnes and Sanctus, but guess who shows up?
Motherfucking Dante! Nero tries to ignore him, but Dante tells Nero that he kinda needs his brother's sword back.
So Dante beats his ass again.
But it's cool this time, because Dante fought Nero to calm him down. You can't just run into a boss fight all emotional and shit, that's how you die. So Dante allows Nero to keep Yamato for now, and they exchange names.
Then, with a more level head, Nero finally confronts Sanctus, who has successfully summoned the Savior.
Nero tries to take Sanctus down for good, but Sanctus takes Yamato away from him and traps him within the Savior.
Credo then appears and attempts to fight Sanctus as well in order to save his little sister.
But Credo can't handle the smoke Sanctus is dishing out, so Credo takes a massive L and gets stabbed. My man just got Yamcha.
And before you ask, yes, that will be a thing on this channel.
Before Kratos dies, however, Dante shows up and is asked to save both Nero and Kyrie.
So Dante takes care of everyone's problems by retracing Nero's steps, closing all the hell gates that Nero forgot to close himself, and saving Nero. Not even the protagonist of the story, and Dante is still putting in all the work.
Now free from Sanctus' clutches, Nero proceeds to beat the hell out of the old man, then saves Kyrie.
But Sanctus re-emerges after this bout, so Nero beats him down one more time just for good measure. Stay dead, old man. Nobody likes you.
With that, Dante leaves Yamato in Nero's hands and bids both him and Kyrie farewell.
Until Devil May Cry 5. After the events of Devil May Cry 4, Nero and Kyrie work together to form a mobile demon hunting business. 5 years later, Nero meets the gifted mechanic Nicolette Goldstein, who just so happens to be Agnes's daughter. Wait, hold up. This piece of shit has a daughter, and I'm still over here with my phone dry as hell? Something ain't right.
Nico joins Nero's little demon hunting squad after he gives her secret documents having to do with the Order of the Sword in exchange for fixing his weapon.
Sometime after this, a cloaked figure shows up in Nero's garage. Out of nowhere, this guy rips off Nero's Devilbringer and dips. So Nero's like, welp, definitely can't have that, then pursues the cloaked figure. Nero's pursuit brings him to Redgrave City, which just like Fortuna, is being overrun by demons. However, this situation is way worse.
In Redgrave City, Nero teams up with a mysterious individual named V. V informs Nero that this demon invasion is being caused by a demonic tree known as the Qliphoth, and the bad guy behind this whole mess is the new demon king named Urizen.
Now, if this were me, I'd just go home and not ask any questions. Maybe the guy who stole my armor is in some other city. But V tells Nero that Urizen is the one who snatched and absorbed the Devilbringer, and Nero kinda needs that arm back. So Nero and V make their way up the Qliphoth, and once they make it to the center, they witness Dante getting his demon hunter ass handed to him by Urizen.
So our extremely arrogant hero tries to fight the demon king himself, but he obviously gets bodied.
I mean, if Dante couldn't beat the Demon King, why would you even attempt to fight him yourself? Especially with one arm.
So Dante gets back up and holds Urizen off so Nero and V can escape. He tells them that this is his problem, so they need to stay out of it.
Knowing full well that he can't proceed with just one arm, Nero completely ignores Dante's command and returns to Redgrave City 1 month later with a cybernetic arm made by Nico. With the help of her and V, they manage to take down the majority of Urizen's minions.
But as they move forward, V slowly gets weaker.
Once Nero and V get close to Urizen, V tells Nero part 1 of the twist of this story. There's apparently no such thing as a demon named Urizen. Urizen is actually Vergil.
Vergil wants to use the fruit that grows from the Qliphoth to give him immense power.
Nero's surprised, but he's still more focused on getting his arm back. So they make their way to Vergil, only to find Dante getting ready to finish him off. But V requests to finish Vergil off himself, says some real sketchy cryptic shit, then stabs Vergil.
The final blow causes a massive explosion, and regular Vergil, the one we all know and love, emerges from the light.
Alright, calm down, let me explain. So Vergil is the one who took Nero's arm a while back, but we already kinda knew that. After he took the arm, he turned it into his old sword Yamato and stabbed himself to separate his human side from his demon side in order to get more power. That human side was V. So this whole time, V was just trying to make himself whole again. And after beating Dante for a bit, my man has the nerve to thank Nero, then leave. Don't thank me, bro. Nero is obviously pissed about this whole situation, but Dante is like, this is still my fight, stay out of it.
So after a yelling contest, Dante finally hits him with the news we've all been waiting for.
He's your father!
What? I mean, we already knew this, but now Nero knows.
Nero obviously doesn't take this news lightly, then meets up with Nico, Lady, and Trish. Lady and Trish being friends of Dante.
Dante goes after his brother.
Nero begins throwing a fit about how this should be his fight, and how Dante is being unfair.
And honestly, his anger makes a bunch of sense. Yeah, Vergil is his dad, and Dante is right in saying that he can't just let Nero kill his own father, but mind you, Nero just found out that Vergil is his dad. Before this, the guy stole his fucking arm. Just because you're suddenly family now does not negate everything you already did. I'm not saying Nero should kill the guy, I just don't think Dante has the right to tell him not to kill the guy.
So Nero is all tight and whatever, but after a random phone call with his woman Kyrie, his mindset changes.
Now instead of wanting to kill his father, he wants to stop Dante and Vergil from killing each other. So using the power of complete bullshit, Nero destroys his cybernetic arm and regrows his regular flesh and bones arm. Then he transforms into a more complete looking Devil Trigger form and stops his father and uncle.
He tells the two that this brotherly feud is over. Then Vergil responds by challenging Nero and stating that if he wins, he technically also wins against Dante.
Dante doesn't give a fuck. So Nero accepts his father's challenge, then beats his ass. That's what you get for stealing my arm, you piece of shit. And Dante's all like, damn bro, you stole his arm and still lost. You trash, son.
With there no longer being a need to fight, Nero brings up something that everyone forgot about.
Demons are still running rampant because of the demon tree issue. So Vergil and Dante decide to sacrifice themselves by going to the underworld, severing the roots of the tree, then closing the underworld portal from the inside. Nero is completely against this idea, but he has proven that he can handle protecting the world from demons by himself.
So they knock out Nero and proceed to save the day, leaving Nero as the main protector of the world.
Afterwards, Nico and Nero have a hilarious heart-to-heart.
Hooey! I'm still in freaking shock.
About what?
Duh. Your arm? Who the hell grows an arm back? It's just weird.
Then, in good old DMC fashion, our story ends, with demons showing up out of nowhere and our hero beating dog shit out of them. Well, like Conscious said before, if you watched the most recent Honest Gaming History episode, then you know that V was born from Vergil stabbing himself with Yamato. And if you didn't know, well, now you know.
When V stabbed himself with a sword he stole back from Nero, he didn't only give birth to his weaker human side.
He also gave birth to the embodiment of his demon essence, who V named Urizen.
Because Vergil separated his demon side from his human side in order to get stronger than his brother Dante, Urizen's immediate mission is to go and obtain even more power.
How's he gonna go about this, you might ask? By summoning the world-ending demon tree known as the Qlipoth and eating the fruit that grows from it in order to obtain godlike power. So as you can see, Urizen is freaking insane. V knows what his demon counterpart is trying to do, and he def can't have that.
So after Urizen dips to basically suck the life out of the world, V makes it his mission to stop Urizen at all costs, and merge with him so he can go back to being Vergil.
But V can't do this by himself. He's weak as hell, and his body is slowly decaying due to lack of demon energy.
Luckily, 3 familiars were also born thanks to Vergil's little separation act.
These familiars are named Shadow, Griffin, and Nightmare. They manifested from Vergil's memories as Nello Angelo, back when he was under Mundus's control. So something good did come from that sad time in Vergil's life.
Though these familiars are able to protect V for the time being, they definitely aren't strong enough to fight Urizen.
So V does the smartest thing he can do. He heads over to Dante's place of business and asks him to take care of the wannabe Demon King.
He tells Dante that a strong demon is about to start some shit in Redgrave City, but this demon is different from any demon he has ever faced in the past.
Why? Because since Urizen is technically Vergil, he is Dante's reason for fighting. Like he dead tells Dante, he is your reason for fighting. Your reason. Urizen. Your reason. Urizen. Your reason.
They get it! His name is Urizen because he's Dante's reason for fighting. Jesus. Moving on, after V recruits Dante, he heads over to Fortuna in order to recruit Nero as a safety measure.
Which is honestly kinda savage, since V is like half responsible for ripping off Nero's arm.
So V kinda lies to Nero by telling him that Urizen is the demon responsible for taking his arm.
Though he is skeptical of V, Nero accepts the invitation to beat on the demon that did him dirty. With 2 seasoned demon hunters now part of V's squad, it's time to go after Urizen. The V squad heads over to Redgrave City to confront the demon, and let's just say it does not go well.
They get bodied. I mean bodied. Dante tries to go in with Lady and Trish, and they all get smacked. Little ass Nero tries to go in by himself and gets bodied. Like, what are you doing, bro? Then V shows up, and Dante takes his ass by holding back Urizen.
V drags Nero away while they have the chance. Then he commands Nero to go and get his power level up so he can defeat Urizen later. They agree to reconvene in a month.
During this month, V tries to do what he can to help the city, or at least stop the Qlipoth's growth.
But he fails at finding a way to do anything, and he's oddly disappointed by this. Like, you gotta remember, Vergil is a dickhead. He is willing to destroy the world just to fight his brother. That's freaking insane. But his human form is oddly saddened by the fact that he can't help anyone. What if deep down, behind all that edgy nonsense, there's actually a tender heart within Vergil? Something to think about.
So a month goes by, and Nero and V meet up to plan their next move.
Nero is worried that Dante might be dead, since he's kind of been MIA for a whole month. So he suggests that they head straight to the Qlipoth to go and save him. Look at you, Nero, being all helpful and shit, helping your boy Dante out. Unlike some people— I'm kidding, don't yell at me.
Anyways, V thinks that they should focus on the Qlipoth roots first, so they agree to split up to cover more ground and meet at the base of the demonic tree later.
So V goes on his little single player quest, slays some demons here and there, you know, the usual.
He ends up spying on one of Urizen's followers, and finds out that the demons are looking for Sparta's sword to destroy it. Sparta being the father of Vergil and Dante, but you should know that by now.
But if you didn't, then you should go and watch my other Devil May Cry videos, son. They lit!
Shameless plug aside, V gets forced into fighting Urizen's minion.
He beats the minion's horse, but gets tired and lets the actual minion escape. Bro, you're a main character. You can't be out here getting tired. That's side character nonsense.
After the confrontation, V decides that he should probably find Sparta's sword before the demons do.
He then heads back to the Devil May Cry RV, helmed by my girl, Nico Goldstein.
I can't read minds. Ooh, well, yeah.
Love this girl, son.
In the RV, V gives a very kind greeting to Lady and hands Nico material that she can make more equipment out of.
Yo, why is V such a bro?
Because Qlipoth roots are blocking the RV's path, V and Nero, who was also in the RV, group up to head to the base of the tree together.
After some more casual demon slaying, the two finally make it to the destroyed town that the base of the tree is located in.
Which just so happens to be in the town that Vergil lived in as a child.
Ooh, that sucks, bro.
V then tells Nero that it's time for them to part ways. He still needs to find Sparta's sword.
So they split up, and V successfully locates the sword. But he can't pick that shit up. You see how weak this dude is? He doesn't hit the gym, so he's like, Nero's strong, Nero doesn't skip arm day, he can use it.
But literally right after he makes this revelation, he finds someone even better, Dante.
So he wakes up an unconscious Dante, and we find out that Dante has been knocked out this whole time. A month, bro? My man Urizen really gave you a full course meal of these hands. A full course meal of these hands. That needs to go on a shirt.
So V's familiar Griffin informs Dante that Nero is out here trying to square up with Urizen.
Dante's kinda tight about Nero continuously getting involved with his job. This is his gig. But V warns Dante that Urizen is much stronger than they could have imagined.
Dante ignores V's warning, takes Sparta's sword, then starts heading over to Urizen.
V tries to stop Dante, but the poor guy is slowly deteriorating.
But he still runs after Dante, and eventually catches up with him.
Dante sees the guy, then savages him by hopping on his epic ass motorcycle and just kinda leaving him with an unconscious Trish. And since V is such a bro, he stays back with Trish and just reads his book until she wakes up.
After she regains consciousness, Trish immediately starts interrogating V because she is super skeptical about Urizen. She knows that he is not actually a demon, so she wants some answers.
V's silence leads Trish to kinda sorta figure out who V really is. So she's like, what are you? V's like, shut up, woman. It doesn't matter. I am a shadow of my former self. Just let it rock. Then he basically tells her that he was born from Vergil stabbing himself with Yamato and all that jazz.
He pretty much breaks down in front of Trish and tells her that his human soul has made him realize all the important things he threw away just to gain some power.
My man V dead regrets the decision he made as Vergil. He acknowledges that he made a really bad call and desperately wants to right his wrong.
It's just crazy that there's a part of Vergil that is actually capable of understanding when he does some dumb shit. Like, bro, where was this when you were about to screw the world with the Temini grew?
Trish listens to V's sob story, then basically tells him that he is a grown-ass man, and he needs to make sure that he sticks this through to the end for Dante.
So now, V and Trish head to Dante's direction together. They run into him at the RV with Lady and Nico. By this point, Dante fought Urizen for a second time, in his hella dope Sparta-absorbed demon form. But Urizen escaped to the top of the Qlipoth tree in order to get the Qlipoth fruit. V tells Dante that Urizen is heading to the top for the fruit. Then Trish explains that this fruit grants insane power. Like Mundus, the leader of the underworld, used it to become the leader of the underworld.
Nero shows up and lets Dante know that he is heading to the top to take out Urizen once and for all.
Dante's like, no you're not, cause I'm going to the top to take out Urizen.
V then sticks up for Nero and tells Dante to allow him to go.
They're kinda running out of time, so Dante can't be stingy with the demon killing.
Dante accepts, then tells Nero and V to go their own separate ways, while he goes his.
So V heads off by himself, but he is basically dying at this point.
After slaying Urizen's right-hand demon, Nero regroups with V and notices the dude's bad condition.
Nero's like, bro, you're dying. Sit back and let me and Dante handle this.
But V insists that he be allowed to continue, so Nero reluctantly carries V the rest of the way.
On the way to the top of the Qlipoth, V decides to tell Nero the truth about everything. Well, most of the truth. There is no demon named Urizen, only a man who threw his life away for power. And that man is none other than Dante's brother Vergil. Nero is confused, but he doesn't have time to ask questions, since the world is, you know, ending.
V and Nero then make it to the top, only to find Dante getting ready to finish Urizen off.
However, V requests that he be allowed to kill the demon.
so Dante allows him to do his thing. But after V starts speaking in riddles, Dante finally puts 2 and 2 together. Urizen isn't Vergil, V and Urizen combined is Vergil.
But before Dante can do anything about it, V stabs Urizen and turns back into his edgy ass former self.
And Nero's like, yo, what the hell is happening right now?
As Vergil, he and Dante fight. Dante loses. Pete tells Dante to get his power level up so they can have a proper duel. Nero asks to give Vergil the hands, but Dante drops the whole "Vergil is your father" bomb on him. Nero gets even more confused. Dante goes after Vergil. Nero throws a tantrum, then just decides that neither Dante or Vergil are allowed to die, so he somehow grows his arm back and stops the two from killing each other. Then Nero beats Vergil, because Vergil was talking that shit. Dante and Vergil decide that they'll continue their fight after they fix the Clyfoth problem. Yeah, that's still a thing. Then Vergil and Dante leave Nero as the one and only demon hunter, while they make a one-way trip to the underworld in order to chop down the Clyfoth. And Vergil also gives Nero the poetry book he had since he was a kid. And that's pretty much where the story of V/human Vergil ends. Did I miss anything, don't you?
No. Wow, good job. That pretty much explained everything.
Yup, no need to go in depth since we already did that in the Vergil episode.
You right.
Limbo City, a town secretly under the control of demons, and the setting of this tale.
At the helm of this fucked up city is Kyle Ryder and his really ugly wife, Lilith. Kyle is a businessman that is using debt to keep the city and honestly the whole world under his control. But he has one problem. One person that he fears is capable of ruining everything for him. Enter our edgy ass protagonist, Dante.
Dante knows about the demons that are hiding within the city, and since his youth has made it his mission to murder any that mess with him.
But don't get it twisted. He's not doing this for some noble cause like saving the world or whatever. Demons have just been chasing him for like his whole life. And he also just doesn't fuck with them. So we start our tale with Dante chilling in his trailer, recovering from a hangover.
His rest gets interrupted by a sidekick named Cat, who states that a hunter demon has found him and is planning to kill him.
Dante could honestly care less, but then the hunter shows himself and drags him into Limbo, the realm where demons reside. So Dante suits up, beats on some demons, then takes out the hunter.
But before the hunter dies, he mocks Dante by calling him the son of Sparta and calling his mother a whore.
Damn, these demons are mad disrespectful.
After that demon encounter, Kat finds Dante and requests that he follows her to meet up with the person that she works for. Kat works for the Order, a secret organization that is working to free the humans from the mercy of the demons that lurk in Limbo City.
Dante declines at first, but then Kat's like, come on bro, please? So Dante changes his mind and joins her.
At the HQ of the Order, Dante meets a stranger with sleek white hair.
The stranger's like, Dante, do you remember me? Or your childhood? Dante's like, nah bro, I had meningitis when I was a kid and lost my memories. Then the stranger's like, yo, they told me I had amnesia. Then Dante's like, okay, your point?
Realizing that his attempt to break the ice didn't go too well, the stranger then introduces himself as Vergil. Then he asks Dante to join the Order in their fight against demonkind.
Dante's like, nah fam, I'm good.
So Vergil asks Dante to at least allow him to reveal who he truly is.
Dante reluctantly accepts and is given his whole backstory. So a long time ago, the ruler of demons was some dude named Mundus, and his most trusted comrade was another demon named Sparta.
Everything was copacetic until Sparta decided to hook up with the angel Eva.
The couple gave birth to 2 boys, Dante and Vergil. But because they were the product of the union between an angel and a demon, they were deemed as special beings known as Nephilim.
When Mundus found out about this unorthodox union, he ran up to Sparta's and Eva's home, murdered Eva, then banished Sparta.
Luckily, before Sparta was banished, he wiped out the memories of his 2 children and hid them amongst the humans.
Mundus only knew about one of the offspring, Dante. So he started using Kyle Ryder as a human guise to control the media and send demons after Dante.
So it's similar to the original Dante story, but just way more fucked up. After Vergil tells Dante all of this, Dante decides that he needs to beat the shit out of Mundus for doing his family dirty, then joins the Order.
So Vergil lays out their objectives. First, they need to attack the Virility headquarters. Virility is a soft drink that has been spiked by Mundus' demon henchmen. The drink keeps humans docile so they don't randomly decide to revolt against the demons.
Second, they need to attack Raptor News headquarters. Mundus uses Raptor News as a medium to release propaganda that makes his human guys seem like a decent guy.
Third, they need to draw Mundus away from the Hellgate, the source of his power.
Once they do that, they can kill Mundus and save the day. With their plan laid out, Dante decides to go after Virility first, cause soft drinks are bad for you.
The demon responsible for spiking these soft drinks is a succubus named Poison. So once Dante kills Poison, humans will be free from Virility's hold on them.
So Dante and Kat roll up to the Virility HQ, Dante bodies a few demons, finds poison, then kills her. Pretty simple stuff.
With Virility out of the way, it's time to take down Raptor News.
Before this, however, Dante and Kat have a little heart-to-heart, and Dante reassures Kat that he's going to do his best to free mankind from the whole of Mundus. Aw, Dante's trying to do good for a change. That's nice.
So after that little episode of character development, the duo regroups with Vergil, and they set their sights on Bob Barbas, the demon in charge of Raptor News.
Dante makes his way into the Raptor News HQ. Within the building, he finds another demon named Phineas.
Phineas recognizes that he's the son of Sparta and Eva, then decides to help him since Sparta used to be one of his homies.
Dante accepts the help, and they move forward together.
On their journey through Raptor News HQ, Phineas mentions Asiel, a Nephilim that existed before Dante. There were many Nephilim that existed before Dante and Vergil, but they were hunted down because of their immense potential and the dangers they pose to demon kind.
Phineas tells Dante that if he finds Asiel, he may be able to unlock his full potential. So Dante eventually finds Asiel, and through finding her receives a message from his mother. His mom is like, "Hey man, I'm sorry for not protecting you and shit. Here, have this new power." Then Dante receives his devil trigger, and he and Phineas continue to make their way towards Bob.
Once they get close, Phineas dips because he's old and can't keep fighting like this. But before he leaves, he tells Dante about Mundus' main weakness, Lilith. Lilith is bearing Mundus' child. Mundus cannot afford to lose this child because it is the heir to his throne.
With that useful information in mind, Dante thanks Phineas, then moves on to battle Bob Barbas.
Like all the other fights in this game so far, Dante and the demon start off by exchanging some offensive banter.
Well, look who it is. It's bitch-ass Dante. Well, look who it is. A bitch-ass wannabe journalist reporting fake news. My news is straight facts, bro. Fuck you mean? Bro, you said I've been spreading STDs around the city. Who says that? And the crazy thing is, I didn't make that up. Bob actually says this. And it really makes you wonder, what the hell was the writing team smoking when they wrote this shit?
So Dante and Bob fight, and during the fight, Bob reveals that a SWAT team is about to ambush the base of the Order.
Worried about his friends, Dante quickly dispatches Bob, then rushes to the Order's HQ.
He gets there right before the SWAT soldiers manage to break in, but he is stopped by a bunch of demons.
After taking care of the demons, Dante finally reunites with Vergil and Kat, but Vergil puts a hold on their escape because he wants to destroy all the data that they have saved on their computers. So he tells Kat to start the self-destruct sequence for the base. Really, Vergil? Holding up the rescue operation because you're afraid the Popo might find out about your hentai collection? Come on, bro.
Dante reluctantly follows Vergil's orders and fends off the demons that are trying to attack them. However, the SWAT team managed to break in, and Vergil tells Dante that they need to go and leave Kat because they are in limbo, while Kat is still in the real world.
Dante doesn't want to leave his love interest, but he has no other choice. He promises that he will come back for her, then watches in horror as the SWAT soldiers beat the mess out of Kat and kidnap her.
Once Dante and Vergil get to safety, they receive a message from Mundus, telling them that Kat will be returned to them safely only if Dante submits to Mundus.
Vergil refuses to trade his brother for Kat, but Dante has another idea. He remembers that Lilith is bearing Mundus' child, so he proposes that they kidnap Lilith and offer her up as a trade for Kat. Hey, there you go, Dante. Thinking of dope strategies to save your girl.
Vergil isn't for the idea and thinks they should just forget about Kat altogether.
But Dante wears the pants in this brotherhood, so he does what he wants and heads over to the Devil's Alliance nightclub to confront Lilith.
He finds Lilith, and before they battle, she gives birth to her child. Right there.
That's just wrong in every way.
So Dante beats on them, then offers to spare both their lives, as long as Lilith does what he says.
Lilith submits because she knows she ain't shit. Then Dante responds to Mundus' video by sending one back, offering Lilith and the demon child as a trade for Kat.
Mundus is forced to accept. Then the two parties meet at a harbor to commence the trade.
But during the trade, Vergil does some wild shit and shoots Lilith and the kid. Vergil, the hell is your problem?
The two parties immediately start shooting at each other, while Kat runs over to Vergil and Dante.
Mundus gets pissed and sucks everyone into limbo. But thanks to Dante, our heroes escape and return to their hideout.
Kat tells the two brothers that she managed to figure out exactly how Mundus' hideout works while she was in his possession. So now, it's time for them to take out their last threat, the demon ruler himself.
With the help of Kat and Vergil, Dante storms into Mundus' building, then confronts the angered demon. Mundus is like, bro, why'd you have to kill my kid? Dante's like, I did it for the freedom of mankind. Then Mundus is like, mankind's freedom? All humans do is fight, kill, and ruin each other's lives. I brought order. I'm doing mankind a favor. Then Dante's like, oh wait, I forgot. I'm no hero. I just did it cause screw your kid, son. Yo, so I still like the old Dante way more than I like this one, but this Dante is a savage, and I love it.
Infuriated by Dante's savage-ass remark, he pounces on him, then tries to pull his heart out.
But Vergil saves his brother by closing the Hellgate that gives Mundus his power.
Vergil then stabs Mundus, and Dante pushes him off the roof that they were fighting on.
But before the brothers can celebrate, Mundus uses the debris from the city to transform into a giant.
The brothers work together, and after one long boss fight, they defeat the Demon King for good.
But defeating Mundus led to Limbo merging with the real world. So even though humans are free now, the place looks like a mess. Our heroes look at the chaos they created, then Vergil says some next shit. He's like, now the path is clear for us to rule over these humans. My guy, what?
Alright, so it turns out that Vergil's whole plan was to knock Mundus off the demon throne so that he and Dante could take it.
According to Vergil, humans are unstable beings, and they need more powerful beings like him and Dante to rule over them. So as much as the two DMC stories differ, one thing still remains true. Vergil is a dickhead, but the original Vergil is still way better. So Dante is like, well, can't have that, so he kills Vergil. Or almost does, until Cat is like, wait, Dante, don't kill him, that's still your bro.
So Dante spares his brother and lets him go, letting him know that Earth is under his protection now.
Then a butthurt Vergil leaves to fight another day, alluding to a sequel that will never happen.
Folks, thank y'all so much for watching the video. I've never done a video like this before where I compiled older videos to create something new, but I'm honestly curious to see how it does, so let me know how you feel about it in the comments below. To give you guys an update for the Honest Gaming History of God of War, the audio has been recovered and currently I'm working on cutting everything, and then once that's done, we'll get to editing. The raw audio file started off at 4 hours, so I'm not sure how long this video is actually going to be. It could end up being like an hour and a half. An hour and 40 minutes, who knows? We'll see. Once I know, you guys will know as well. But with that, if you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like, subscribe to watch more Honest Gaming History in the future, and hit that bell to stay notified of whenever I upload new content. Shout out to my amazing patron. Thank you guys so much for putting in the extra support each month. With the YouTube adpocalypse basically back, y'all have no idea how much your funds help out the channel. So thank you once again. And with that being said, be easy, stay lit, stay healthy out there, Black Lives Matter, and don't forget, you can do whatever the hell you put your mind to. All it takes is practice and time. Peace out, y'all.